All right, we're just about done with our lecture on arrays and functions, which is pass by reference. So let's do a recap on everything and do a couple more examples. First of all, the point, so it should be very clear to you why pass by reference exists. Pass by reference exists so that we don't have to copy data over to a new function. This saves a lot. This is quite efficient. For example, if you have a setup function and we have an array of 10, now we could have an array of 1,000,000 or 100,000 or whatever, right? When we call bar, basically we would, instead of copying, so bar is a different scope than setup. And if bar needs access to array data, we would have to copy data in bar, which is quite time and resource consuming. Instead, we're simply going to link R to data, and we said that we could simply say R index 2, for instance, and we'll set that to 3, and index 2 will change. This is called pass by reference. And we said that we're always going to do this unless there is a case of having the link broken between the two. The link is going to be broken if we reassign the reference in the called function. So, for example, if at this stage, so this already has been changed to 3, if at this stage I say R called new int 2, then this link is broken because I am reassigning the reference. This is the reference. We are in the called function. If I reassign the reference in the call function, then R becomes this because this is out. And basically what happens is, if I say R index 0, and I set that to, let's say, 7, I'm going to go to R index 0, and we're going to set that to 7, but it's not going to change data at all because the link has been broken. So up to here, basically here, it's a very good example. Here, link not broken. Here, link is broken. The link is going to break if you use the new operator to reassign the reference, or if you copy anything to reference. And that's where the array functions come in, because in array functions, the way they work is that they copy they copy their output to another array. So let's look at, so I have a couple more examples for you in this slide, so please make sure to go through the slides. I have an example where the pass by reference is working in case 1. In case 2, of course, it's not because I'm reassigning the reference. Here is a case where I'm passing R by reference. So R is a reference to data. But what happens is, when sort is called, sort is taking R and then basically sorting the array, which is completely fine. So sort, so R in memory actually is going to be, R in memory is going to be 6, 7, and 10. But what happens is the output of this is going to be stored in R. So R is no longer linked to data, right? So here link breaks. So the reference link breaks here because we are copying the output of sort into array. So that should be clear for everybody. All right. So the last thing I want to discuss is that pass by reference, when you pass by value, the parameters you output, those are the parameters you say, the arguments you send to a function, those are input, right? So if you have, let's say, void, actually, let's say int calc, and you pass int a, int b, int c, and then you have an int result, which is a plus b plus c, and you return result. As you recall, these are inputs, and this is the only output in terms of data. This is this will be sent back to the calling function. Now, when we talk about pass by reference, function parameters are both, they can be both input and output, which means, oh, actually, I will do that problem together, which means if you have an array, so let's just say if you recall function multiply, we are receiving an array right? We're receiving an array and we were multiplying every element in that array by 2. I++, and we were saying data index I so I'm just actually going to write my function setup down here. So void setup. So let's say I have int a and it has 2, 4, and 6. When I call function multiply and I pass data, I pass a. In fact, this a is the input that I provide, but also it's also the output. It's also the output because it's being passed by reference. It's going to change there. So I don't need to return anything. So the way it works is I have setup. A is 2, 4, and 6. And then data is here. And data is linked to A. So A is the input that I use because it's the array that I get, and then I store the result into it. So this will automatically become 4, this will become 8, and this will become 12. So in other words, data is both input and output to this function. If I was doing a print function, if it was simply a print function, then the array would simply be the input because I'm not changing the array, right? I'm not changing the array, I'm just inputting, I'm just printing the results. It's just like a print me function.